seated. I want to say thank you to those who have laid the foreground here. Doesn't it look beautiful? Thank you very much. That is what we have come to celebrate. So today, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I am not very good at protocol, so you forgive me by going to the details. I may step on many toes. Today, we are launching 9 of our publications as Makerere University Press. Owing to the COVID-19 effects on our social life, you remember the lockdowns and all these restrictions, and also, of course, the economic activities that were hampered. We were not able in the last 2 years to do any book launches. And that explains why we have accumulated this backlog, altogether 9 titles that we hadn't launched in the last 2 years. But this is still small compared to what we had planned to do, because as a press we have an annual plan of publishing at least 10 titles. So to do 9 in 3 years, you may congratulate us, but we actually hope to be launching 30 books if it had gone according to plan. But some factors are beyond our control, and so we are still grateful for what we have been able to do in the time we have had despite the constraints. Allow me to thank our authors for entrusting us with their intellectual property. I trust that this is partly because of the reputation of our great university, which has earned itself its name over 100 years of existence. Makerere University Press is basing on this historic achievement by Makerere University to make a name for you as an author, a name for us as publishers, and ultimately a name for Makerere in the publishing arena. Working with you, authors, personally, I must say, has extended our circle of acquaintances and deepened our camaraderie. A lot of the people we have published are actually members of staff here, or graduate students, and others are from sister universities. But whatever we have done together has helped to solidify that relationship as partners in the creation and distribution of knowledge. Through working together, for instance, with Professor Lule and his team on that title you see in the corner, Runyakitara Language Studies, we have been able to produce that, and we are working on a second one that is also coming out soon. And this is a very hard-working team. We know they initiated Runyakitara as an area of study in the university. And who else do we expect to produce materials for something we have given birth to if it's not us? And so we are glad to partner with the Runyakitara experts to do this. And in the process, we have attracted other languages. When they see what we are doing for Runyakitara, we have manuscripts in Kiswahili. You have seen Lule here. We have others coming in. We have manuscripts in Luganda, in Lule, in Ateso, in Lusoga, and others are coming. There's a new institution that is being birthed called the UNITE, and they have a strong component in language education, practically working very closely with us to produce more, and others are welcome to join them. We worked with the Professor Sister Dominica Di Pio. Unfortunately, she's not able to be with us physically, but I think she's following us online. She had traveled out of the country. So moving back into the future, which is up here, was the title she worked on, and she brought authors from from across the continent to partner with her as an editor to produce this beautiful big piece of work. She helped us fish authors from across the continent of Africa. She also has helped us to stay on our toes, reminding us of our obligation, not just to Makerere and Ugandan readers, but to the whole continent and the world, to be a voice of Africa out there. We are listening, sister, to your voice and such other voices, and learning how to spread our wings and fly far and wide. In contemporary issues in educational research, Professor Connie Masembe, I have not seen him here. We worked with him on that. And he brought to light the fact that education is not just the concern of educationists in our College of Education and External Studies. The authors whom we edited were drawn from diverse backgrounds, all of them contributing to the discussion and producing a rich mosaic of ideas that could help propel higher education in our region to another level. Graduate students and scholars researching in the field of higher education have found this work pretty informative. And like people, they are saying, can you give us more? Experts in education look at that and see what more we can produce. As a public intellectual, Dr. Jimmy Spire Sentongo endeared us to the common man on the streets of Kampala and beyond with his sweet satire, What I Saw When I Died. I think it's also right behind here. We have had to ship this popular piece of work across the country and into neighboring countries like Kenya and Tanzania on taxis, in buses, on boda boda. Everybody is saying, can I have a look at that? What did this man see when he died? Through countering violent extremism, which is right there, our friend Dr. Veneranda Mbabazi and her colleagues have showed us that researchers can examine all sorts of subjects, including issues like terrorism. And we hope that their findings will contribute to our understanding of and the fight against terrorism. It's a very present threat in our midst, and it's good to see that there are people who can look at it with scholarly eyes and give us a peek of what they see. And I hope you take a look at it and benefit from it as well. Working with the late Joseph Bosa on Nationhood on Trial was a journey of discovery. The late Bosa is represented here by his daughters and a few other members of the family. You will see them later. But can you imagine an acting president of the former ruling party, UPC, coming to see you all by himself? No bodyguard, no personal assistant. That was Bosa. A Muganda Catholic at the helm of late Milton Obote's UPC. A UPC leader who can pinpoint faults in Obote's performance as a political leader and also see some positive traits in President Yoweri Museveni's performance, providing families of former leaders with support, for instance. He says that's a positive trait. I mean, Bosa was just an enigma. He beat every stereotype and stood out as an independent thinker. We so proudly worked with him to produce that piece of work you see there called Nationhood on Trial, the 1966 crisis. Bosa's book and Dr. Godfrey Asimwe's mismanagement of subnationalism in New Nations on the 1966 Uganda crisis. Or is it Uganda crisis? Read both of them to see how differently gifted both writers are and how they augment one another in their understanding of this pivotal moment in our history as a nation. When we read Dr. Godfrey Siminyu's work, you feel like telling the gentleman to stop talking and just concentrate on writing. He's just an excellent writer. I mean, you hang on every word that he's saying. His writing is so deep and so sweet. He looks at what many other authors have done, like a good scholar, but comes up with very new and fresh revelations on what others have already said something.